raged through all Avantasia. The alliance of humans, elves, and dwarves fought against the evil army of the shadows. The war had devastated the country for years upon years, and yet no one gained the advantage. And so it was that in that time of deepest despair, that an old archaeologist uncovered the location of the artifact of divine fate. The artifact could fulfill every wish, and thus decide the war, for one side or the other. Led by Warlock Munkus, son of Archwitch Mortroga, the Shadows hunted for the artifact. And they would have reached it first, were it not for a group of heroes who stood against them. Wilbur, the young gnome who was the first of his clan to become a mage. Ivo, the courageous elven princess from the woodland realm. And the Critter, a hairy creature from the Northlands, companion of the most brilliant of the heroes, Nate Bonnet, who was supposed to spend the rest of his life at the side of an elven princess, who deserved the kingdom and all the riches in the world, who should stop wasting time talking about himself in the third person. Ah! Good, good. This is good. Although the ground is still getting closer. Part of the jetty. At least some of it survived the explosion. If I'm lucky, this will go all the way up to the island. But somehow I really doubt it will.
Nate, how's it going?
Good. For now. Could it be that your spell didn't quite work out the way you planned?
I did tell you there were certain risks involved.
Risks? What risks?
Now, djinn magic is a complicated affair. It's difficult to get the dose right, and when one hasn't done magic for a while, things can go a little bit wrong.
Like you killing me, for example?
Not intentionally.
No big thing. So, now that we have a little time to kill, why don't you tell me a little something about yourself?
Oh, right. Well, yes, I came into this world in an oasis in the Umzu Desert, and at that time, I was...
Are you out of your ever-loving mind? Definitely not the time to reminisce.
Then why did you ask?
I could use some help here, Benny.
Well, you did see what happened last time I cast a spell.
Time to make up for it, then. Now shake a leg.
Oh, I don't know. I might just end up making everything worse.
Can't you just stop time? Or wings! Give me wings! How about that?
Oh, this is all terribly complicated. I really don't feel up to it today, Nate.
Benny!
Perhaps tomorrow? I really do need to think through what's happened today properly.
You get me out of the mess you got us into right now!
Please don't yell at me! I just can't take it anymore!
Benny! Ah! Stay easy and we can forget about miracles. I gotta find something easy, something even he thinks he can do. A flying carpet. Is that too much to ask?
I'm not talking to you.
Why, you... I'm sorry I criticized your work, Benny.
And?
And that I shook your lamp. And everything else. You meant well.
Well, all right then. I forgive you. What can I do for you?
Carpet!
A flying carpet. Shouldn't be too hard. Should I really dare? Am I really up to it?
Yes! What happened here? No!
Welcome, Adventurer. I am the tutorial, guardian of gameplay, explainer of controls.
Use the left stick to move the character.
Well done.
If you walk up to an object, context-sensitive actions will be displayed. Walk up to that big lever and press X.
The robot has used the lever, as this seemed logical to him.
Now press circle so that the robot looks at the lever rather than uses it.
Excellent. The robot thinks the lever is working.
But if that's so, then where is the problem? That hatch over there, walk up to it and press X.
The little chap seems to think there are advanced engine mechanics hidden behind there. Perhaps that's where the problem is.
Press X again next to the hatch. First time you press X will allow you to look.
Why? Because after a player character has looked at something, the most logical thing to do next is use it.
It's quite simple. Press circle when you want to look at something. Press X in order to do whatever that character thinks is the next most sensible move. Is the machine working again? Walk up to the lever and press X.
Appears to be a new problem. Better take a closer look at the engine.
Oops, that wasn't very helpful. Please pick up both gears by pressing X. If you can reach several objects from one position, you can use the right stick to select the one you want to interact with.
Great work. Items you pick up will go into your inventory.
You open and close your inventory by pressing triangle. To use an inventory item, select it with X and then select the object that you want it to be used with.
Use one of the gears in your inventory with the engine of the town model. Excellent. Now, how about dealing with the second gear? Perfect. You'd better oil the engine before you switch the machine back on again. That should do it. Time to crank it up. Examine objects in the inventory in more detail. Pick up the damaged figure and the toolbox.
Then open the inventory with triangle and press circle in order to examine the toolbox.
Great. You found a few items in the toolbox.
You can use these items on each other by initially selecting the first object with X and then using it on the second object again with X.
Try to repair the figure in the inventory. Well done. Now place the figure back in its rightful place on the balcony at the castle and start the machine.
Excellent. You are now ready. One last thing before I go. If you press square, all interesting objects in the scene will be displayed.
Good luck with your adventures in the Book of Unwritten Tales 2.
I'm worried about you. Oh, Mother. What's wrong with you?
Everything's fine.
No, you don't look well at all. Positively rotund. It is unseemly for an elf princess to cope with her frustrations by comfort eating. If you carry on like this, you won't fit into your wedding dress.
I don't have any intentions of marrying anytime soon.
Oh, darling, we've been through that already. Prince Lalilos is going to be arriving next week. You will like him. He's charming and... Look, he sent us a picture of himself and his sister.
Which of the two is the sister?
The elf nobility, unfortunately, has not got any unshaven Neanderthals to offer. You'll just have to get used to that.
I don't have the slightest interest in that person. Not anymore.
You are at the heart of the Elf Kingdom, in the castle of your family where you belong. No one here should be sad, tired, or fat. I only want what's best for you, Ivo.
Did you see that? She's locked me in. Yes, only what's best for me. She always says that. Have you seen this prince? A vain river elf who's only interested in topping up his tan. I'm to spend hundreds of years in the company of someone I don't love? Huh, not me. And how? She will try anything and everything. Nothing's more important to her than getting me married off. Ugh. When I was out there with the humans, it was the first time that I had the feeling I could determine my own destiny. Yes, it was dangerous. Doesn't that go with the territory? A life without risk, that is so... Oh, you don't understand. If I could, I would go right now. You want to stop me? Just like last time. I didn't want to tell Mother, but I've not been feeling too well lately, Cheap. I'd say the same thing, but we elves hardly ever get ill. Yeah, you've got a point there. I spent almost a year in the human world and they have some very strange ideas about personal hygiene. Well, I thought perhaps it's a curse. Oh, no, you won't. I'll take care of it myself. Mother would make a state occasion out of it. I don't know either, but I'm sure there's a medical book down in the library. No, rest is not what I need just now. I'll go down to the library and look up what's wrong with me, completely alone, just like a grown-up elf. I'm not going to be stopped, neither by locked doors nor by you. Cheep Cheep survived our past adventure, even if he'll insist on exactly the opposite. He told everyone for months how he defended me from all the evils of the world and then only just escaped with his tail feathers intact. Hey, Cheep. Most birds love a mirror because they believe they can see another bird in it. You just love them because you can't get enough of yourself. I would be a bit less unbearable if I wasn't incarcerated in here. See you later. Yes, of course I'll be a good girl and stay in my room. It may not be befitting of a princess, but this isn't the first time that I've climbed into the garden via the balcony, and it won't be the last. I'm just doing my morning exercises. I wasn't going to. Of course, I could just ignore him and climb down into the garden anyway. He would, however, make a beeline to Mother and tell on me, and who knows what the two of them would cook up for me next. I used to look into the woods for days on end, imagining what the world beyond would be like. Now I know, and I think I miss it. I've seen much suffering, much evil and unkindness in the world out there, but it was exciting. It was alive. Here in the Elf Burrow, everything is so ordered, so perfect, so dull. One day's just like the next, and they just pass by endlessly. It may not be befitting of a princess, but this isn't the... Okay, he's not looking this way. Oh, there is more than one kind of stretch exercise, you know. Perhaps you'd like to train with me. No chance. I can't sneak down as long as Cheep Cheep's on guard. We have many exotic plants here in the palace, but sunflowers are my favourite. We have many exotic... Apologies, I need a few of your seeds. The times when the others were here in the Elf Burrow, those were the best that I've ever had. The critter could never keep still when I was drawing him. He was always pulling faces and trying to make me laugh. Wilbur was so excited. He loves elves and our stories. He spent hours sitting with my father and listening to him talk about bygone ages. Complete idiot. Fresh water from the spring brook, the little stream that rises here in the castle and provides for the whole valley. People come from far and wide to drink it. The guard with a spear and shield, and like all elven figures, immaculate. I've been sleeping badly of late, and sometimes I feel tired all day long. I've never been ill, but something isn't right. I hope I'll find the answer in the library. When Nate and the others lived here, Nate often made intimations that were to do with the bed. I don't know why, but I know Mother wasn't happy about it. She moved him to a guarded guest room at the other end of the castle. And Cheep Cheep was ordered never to leave my side. Elven craftsmen have centuries to perfect their artistic skills. Only when everything is always perfect, then isn't everything always the same and somehow unimportant? Mother's locked me. Since I secretly escaped from the Elf Burrow last year, she's taken to guarding me closer than ever before. Cheep Cheep likes to look at his reflection. He strikes a pose and then tries to impress himself with it, and succeeds most of the time. I had my birthday during the few weeks that we spent living together here in the Elf Burrow. That was a big deal for Wilbur. He couldn't understand that the significance of birthdays tends to fade after a few hundred years. He insisted on making me a present. He sat in the corner for days knitting me this hat with his little gnarled fingers. Hey, Cheep. Fancy some delicious sunflower seeds? You want the seeds? I want to get out of this room. Could we not come to some arrangement? I would never do that. I know that royal servants are unbribable, but sunflower seeds? Then perhaps not. See you later. Yes, of course I'll be a good girl and stay in my room. Wilbur didn't know. Mother... Oh, Cheep Cheep can't be bribed. I'll have to... Normally this bowl is full of fruit and nuts. Presumably Mother has decided I should be without such things whilst I am, as she says, positively rotund. A beautiful red flower that was only put here a few days ago. Sometimes Mother orders a new plant that looks nice in my room, and then it's replaced and planted in the garden. Normally this bowl is full of fruit. No, I'm not thirsty. Perhaps it's a sixth sense, or magic. Or he just knows me too well. One can almost see the edge of the wood through the telescope, but I just can't leave the Elf Burrow. Mother would never forgive me, and there are so many dangers lurking out there. A friendly gift from nature, taken without permission. A friendly gift. Normally this bowl is full of fruit and nut. Presumably Mother has decided Cheep Cheep, would it be possible for you to stop admiring yourself for 2 seconds and move over to stuffing your beak instead? Don't say I never look after you. Not while Cheep Cheep's still on guard. I don't know, perhaps... It may not... Not while... The plant would survive, I'm sure, but at the moment I don't need any. Fresh water from the spring brook. People come... Pearls, precious stones, sparkling earrings and necklaces. All the stuff I have to wear at official functions. If it were up to Mother, I would have trunkfuls of this stuff, and a wing of the castle would be my wardrobe. She just can't understand why Pa and I aren't into this sort of thing. The box, as well as its hinges and lock, has been fashioned from one piece of tree root. A masterful piece of workmanship, just like everything else here in the Elf Burrow. It's an age-old game. I hide his mirror and he pretends that he doesn't care. But sooner or later he'll get grumpy and I relent. Hey, Cheep. See you later. Yes. I don't know. Perhaps it's a sixth. Not while. I don't know. Perhaps. Hey, Cheep. Oh, missing your mirror? Well, sooner or later you won't be able to stand it anymore. I'm not horrible. I just don't want to be locked in my room like a child. See you later. Yes, of course I'll be a good girl and stay in my room. Cheep Cheep has eaten every last seed from the bowl. Hey, withdrawal symptoms? Not while Cheep Cheep... I don't know, perhaps... It may not... The plant... A contented fat blue bird and his reflection. I don't know how, but he always seems to know when I'm going against Mother's will. Perhaps it's a sixth sense, or magic, or he just knows me too well. A delicate, sweet scent. It reminds me of a wood over in the west where I learnt to use a bow and arrow. I could put any number of things into the bowl. Want to choose? No. The box as well as... Goodness knows what I could use this time. The door's locked and Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, so far I've managed to frighten off every candidate successfully. But she's starting to lose her patience. The plant would survive, I'm sure, but at the moment I don't need any more. A contented... Cheep. A delicate... I could put any number of things into... Cheep has eaten I don't know how, but he always seems to... Fresh water. People come from far... Pearls, precious stone... Since Nate left, so far I... Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, so... The plant would survive, I'm sure, but at the moment I don't need any more. Not while Cheep. The plant... No, I'm not... Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, Mother... So far I've managed... Pearls, precious stones, spark... Goodness... The box, as well as its hinges and lock, has been fashioned from one piece of tree root. A masterful piece of work... I could put any number of things into the bowl. Want to choose? Cheep has eaten every last seed from the bowl. Since Nate... So far I've managed to frighten off... A delicate... A delicate... Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, I could put any number of things... Fresh water from the spring brook. People come... A contented fat blue bird and his reflection. No, I'm not thirsty. A delicate, sweet scent. It reminds me of a wood over in the west where I learnt to use a bow and arrow. Pearls, precious stones, sparkling earrings and necklaces. Goodness knows what I could use this tap for right now. I don't know how, but he always seems to know when I'm going against Mother's will. Perhaps it's a sixth sense, or magic. Or he just knows me too well. The plant would survive since Nate left so far. Since Nate left without saying so much as a it may not be. The plant would survive since Nate. The plant would survive, I'm sure. The plant would I just need the music box a minute. You don't need to turn your head away from your beautiful reflection for 1 second. Come on. Shh. He's gone to sleep. It got dark and he's simply... No matter. I can now enjoy a few moments of peace. Let's go. As expected, no one here. My parents are in the throne room ruling the lands. Or rather, Mother is. A fairly small, unattractive tree.
Huh. I'd like to see how attractive you'd look if someone disturbed you on the pot in the morning.
You mean...
Anyway, what can I do for you, my little beauty?
The garden always looks fantastic, Arbor.
Thank you. It's a girt load of work. People always think elf gardens are fabulous by their very nature. But you need a mighty good gardener.
You have got green fingers.
Ah, that's just moss, my dear. Happens if you spend all day grubbing around in the earth and don't wash your hands properly in the evenings.
You tree shepherds do a great job.
Tree shepherds? The trees just stand there. Why do they need a shepherd? However, I quite fancy one of those shepherd dogs. Hey, Rex, do you want to be my shepherd dog? Nah, my darling. I'm a gardener. Nothing more, nothing less.
What are you up to today, then? Got much on?
Oh, the usual. You know, it never rains in the Elfborough, but the flowers need their water, so I water them every day.
Ah, the curse of good weather.
The weather isn't the only thing which isn't right. I've been here 30 years, and for 30 years we've had autumn.
Time passes differently in the Elfborough. Slower.
Well, that's why everyone grows to be ancient here, obviously. But if we had a bit of normal weather in the usual seasons, there'd be a lot more variety here.
Mother put me on a diet this morning so that I'll look perfect for my wedding.
Oh, everything has to be perfect for her. No such thing in nature, of course. Or rather, everything is perfect if you just let nature run its course.
You tell that to Mother.
I have, many times. She'd be very clever in some things, but very daft concerning that.
Now then, she is the Queen.
I'm old enough to be able to call a spade a spade. Spade, gardener, get it?
You and Father, you get along well, don't you?
Ah, no one understands more about nature than him, that's for sure. But I don't often ask him for help. Thinking has never got a field dug, if you get my drift.
He's just more of a theorist.
Ah, the mud on your feet, the smell of fresh earth, all that joy and life. And he's missing out on the lot by just sitting around up there and doing nubbit.
I have to get on.
Yep, got a bit to do myself. I just don't know what's wrong with that plant over there. Your mother got a whole heap of flowers given to her the other day from a fairy delegation. All of them took good and strong, just not that one.
Perhaps it needs a special type of soil or something.
Well, anything's possible. If I don't think of something soon, I'll have to ask your father. He can have a little chat with her and she might tell him what's up.
If you're going in, it'd be nice if you didn't tell my mother that you saw me out here.
Oh, you playing hooky again? My lips are sealed.
A lovely spot, so long as the bees who have built their hive directly above the bench don't disturb you. It doesn't look very well at all. It's unusual for flowers to hang their heads in this garden. Normally they blossom in our good earth, not to mention the power of Arbor's green fingers. I don't know the names of all the plants in the garden. Grandmother knows them all, which is probably down to the fact that it was her that gave many of the plants their names a few thousand years ago. Shite beerwood, sweat tea, dodder flower, fat hen, bistort, stink root. We no longer invite her to family gatherings. There are elf-made ponds and streams all over the palace ground. Their water's said to have healing powers. No wonder, considering where it comes from. The spring brook emerges up there. It's still small here, but it becomes one of the largest and most important rivers in the woodland realm. That leads up to the throne room. Mother will be conducting the affairs of state with an iron will, whilst Pa leans against the tree of life, probably sleeping. Perhaps That's a weeping willow. It appears to be so content it looks anything but sad. The willow is stretching its branches up high into the sky with glee. One part of the waterfall's already lying in its shadow. If it continues to grow like that, it'll shade half the garden. A present from one of the northern kingdoms. Strange folk up there. The men climb mountains and shout foul-mouthed things in dragon's language at the dragons. I think it's some kind of test of courage. Several books about animals, an atlas, a book about humans. Actually, more of a brochure. And what's this? Fishing for the moderately talented. The Biggest Plant Book of Avantasia by Charles Mendel, a standard reference book that Arbor always used to consult every now and then. However, he insists that he now knows it off by heart. A few years ago, this dragon was causing a whole lot of grief. A bounty was put on its head, and all heroes of the land were encouraged to hunt it down. 40 brave warriors penetrated its lair and slew it. They brought the head to the palace where it was displayed in triumph. The strange thing was that a bit later more adventurers came carrying an identical head. Then more and more heroes arrived. A great example of the variety of our world's fauna. Some of the ideas Mother Nature has can be quite off the wall. The door can be opened easily from the outside. If it was up to me, it would stay open. Swords of all the idiots who have tried to conquer the elf burrow. It's become less frequent over the last few centuries. Humans and dwarves appear to have learnt their lesson. This flower clearly is one of the more exotic of the palace's flowers. It comes from a country in the deep south beyond the deserts. It's said that the flower of this plant used to be sent as a declaration of war, or if one wanted to deprive someone of all sense. What have we got here then? Aha! Ah! Almanac of Elf Medicine. That's what I've been looking for.
Ow! Be careful, if you please.
A speaking book?
An ill elf?
been feeling too well recently. I'm sleeping badly and have no appetite. I know that elves are very seldom ill, but if it's not that, then it must be some kind of magic or curse.
Seldom ill does not actually mean never ill. Elves can, for instance, suffer from a broken heart.
Oh, please.
It is one of the most common causes of death amongst beautiful princesses.
Oh, it must be something else.
Sensitive elves can sometimes suffer from the pains of the world. There are a variety of ear infections, and of course it could also be lupus. But I think it is something else.
Like what?
To be completely certain, you must mix a potion and drink it.
Are you serious?
Very.
Are you actually qualified to make a diagnosis? And why can you talk?
I am a magical medicine book. That actually serves as an answer to both of your questions.
I've never encountered a talking book before.
Of course not. I am the only talking book here. That's the problem. In the magical library in Seastone, all books can talk. Things really get cooking there, believe me.
You were probably given to us by someone from Seastone, right?
Right. I was a complete idiot and actually volunteered. As I am a book about elf medicine, I didn't get much to do in Seastone. I thought to myself, hey, this is your chance to get some practical experience. Wrong.
Yeah, we elves don't get ill much.
And more than that, you don't actually have much time for books. This is the centre of the elven kingdom, and just look at how paltry this library is.
We don't have much use for books. We sing songs about times past, and many of us were there at the time.
Then that's probably also the reason why so many elves stand around in white.
What do you mean?
Allow me to elucidate. Over the years, the songs you elves sing will be changed and adapted, a little here, a little there. This editorial process is nothing more than refined elvish propaganda, presenting them as intelligent and morally impeccable. And who can prove otherwise? There are no other witnesses and there are no books.
I demand to know this instant what sort of illness I have.
Sometimes it's better not to know.
I can take it.
A placebo only works when one doesn't know that it is a placebo. Make the potion and then come back and drink it. Then we'll be sure.
All right, this potion, what goes in it?
It is very easy to make. You need to pound together the green fruit of a metis bush, a spoonful of honey and a red herring, and then mix with water into a viscous potion.
Oh, that sounds revolting.
It's medicine. It isn't supposed to taste nice.
And if I drink it, I'll be well again?
We will then at least know what is wrong with you.
This metis bush, where can I find one?
Haven't a clue. I'm just a book and have spent years sandwiched between dusty hymnals and a tome of revolting recipes.
A red herring? Are you serious?
Of course, why not? Red herrings are known all over the land as particularly useful fish. Their uses in the areas of medicine, cuisine, and literature are too numerous to mention.
All right, so I've got a red herring. Thank you. I think that's all for now.
Normally, it's me that ends patient consultations. You are only a princess, but I am a doctor.
There's a selection of cubes. Arbor's pot, literally. A handy smooth... I really shouldn't... I should tell Mother how her daughter... well, she'd be delighted. There are reeds and water lilies growing in the pond. Naturally, they were planted there. They don't grow in the wild so high up the mountains. Since Nate left without saying so... There are reeds... I can't think of any use for a water lily, but a reed... As suspected, but they always come back to their homeland to breed. They're the only known fish variety that can scale nearly vertical cliffs. Red herrings are fast. Since Nate left without saying so... The waterfall and I have been neighbours for so long that I don't really hear it anymore. Since Nate... So far I've managed to... That's a weeping willow. It appears... If it were possible to hit fish with stones, who'd need a rod? I don't really know much about reeds or... Red herrings are far... I don't really know much... Since Nate left without saying so... Hi, Arbor.
Oh, Ivo!
If I were ill and needed to make some medicine, then you'd help me with that, wouldn't you?
Ill? You're an elf! Elves don't get ill!
But if I were...
Oh, come on, now tell me, how can I help you?
I often see you fishing. Could you lend me your rod?
Of course, if you bring it back in one piece. What's up?
I was convinced that I would have to make my own fishing rod or that you'd ask me to collect a variety of mystical items in exchange for it.
Why? It's only a rod.
Thanks.
Not everything needs to be complicated, you know.
Do you know how I could get my hands on some honey?
Try the kitchens.
I prefer not to wander through the castle.
Ah, of course. Someone would tell your mother.
Would that beehive in the tree over there be of any help?
Oh, I'd be careful with that. The bees defend their honey and can give you a nasty sting.
Couldn't they be distracted or tricked in some way?
Beekeepers wear protective clothes and use smoke that calms the bees. But I don't have any beekeeper kit here. I just let the bees keep their honey and they pollinate my flowers. That's how we've always done it.
Do we have a lettuce bush in the garden here?
That bush over yonder.
But that fruit's red.
And what colour do you expect then?
Green. Are they only green when they're not ripe?
Nah, they're blue then. They're green when the bush senses danger.
Pardon?
The lettuce bush has exceptionally delicious sweet fruit. But if it thinks it's in danger, then they go green and very sour. Call it a defense mechanism.
Ah, and the bush only has red fruit because it has nothing to be afraid of here.
That's right.
There's something else. Have you found out what...
Nope, I haven't. Everything looks proper. Earth is moist and nutrient-rich. The sun is shining. Difficult case. I'd quite like to smoke my morning pipe now, but... first work, then play.
See you later, Arbor.
See ya!
This is a lettuce bush, just only its fruit is red. Since Nate left without saying so, according to Arbor, the bush... I don't have a clue about fishing, but I'll try my luck. Just as I expected, nothing. On the other hand, somehow I have the feeling that I now know what I'm doing. The worms provide a great lure and should increase my fishing success rate, whatever that is. I always hang one onto the hook before I cast the line out. I always hang one onto the hook. I guess that I can just practice until I'm good enough. Or I could try to speed things up by learning more about fishing elsewhere. The worms provide... I always hang one onto the hook, but... Nothing. The worms provide a great lure and should increase my fishing success rate, whatever that. I always hang one on... The worms provide a great lure and I always hang one on... The worms provide a... I always... A classic. The worms, I always have. A classic. A classic. A classic. A classic. Red herrings are far. The worms, the worms are happy and. Nothing. A classic. Red herrings are fast and slippery. Even elves can't catch them with their bare hands. Red herrings are... At last. Now I can tick the red herring off my list. This is Mother's mirror. It's said that you can see into the furthest corners of the land and know what's happening in every part of the world. At the moment, it's no more than a shallow bowl. The water's missing. Mother thought it was unseemly of the bees to build their hive in our garden. I don't think she could get used to the thought that she would no longer be the only queen here. Isn't there a turn of phrase like stirring up a bee's nest? I think the saying's trying to give us a warning. As long as the bees are wide awake and buzzing, I don't dare. I don't have any time to rest, and This is a only. If Arbor doesn't know what's wrong with the plant. Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, Mother sees so. Since Nate left without so. Look at this! You'll be forced to marry this terrible prince even though you don't know him. Ugh. Doesn't seem to upset it as much as it does me. According to no fish in here. A handy smooth stone. A handy smooth. A classic red herring. A prize specimen. Mother, this is Mother's mirror. At the moment, it's. Since Nate left without saying so. Arbor's obviously concerned about his flower. I don't know what I could ask him right now. This is a metis bush, only it. According to Arbor, the bush's fruit. I convinced Mother not to have the. However. Isn't there a turn of as long as this. If Arbor doesn't know what's wrong with. A handy smooth stone. Arbor's. The willow is stretched. One. And that's the sound of cheap... These earrings here. They're sparkling and glinting in the sunshine. They could actually come in handy. I'm going to have to take a few more of your seeds, but I promise this is the last time. So far, I've managed to frighten off every candidate. Mother, she ever... This... There's only a little water left in the bird bath. Cheep Cheep always says that it evaporates quickly. I, however, think that the constant need to replenish the water is more down to his unbridled joyous splashing and not insignificant body mass. That's a weeping willow. Hi.
Well, what's up?
We have a lettuce bush in the garden, but its fruit's red, not green.
Those will be useless. Red lettuce fruits are sweet. We need the sour green ones.
What are the potion's ingredients again?
The green fruit of a lettuce bush, a spoonful of honey, and a red herring. You have to put everything into a bowl with a bit of water and pound it until it forms a viscous potion.
Thank you.
That's...
Thanks for the sacrifice, little fish. It's a start, but there are still ingredients missing. Water's the easiest ingredient to find. We have copious amounts of it here. That should do it. The medicine book reckoned that it should be a viscous potion. I hope... And that's the... I hope he'll sleep a while longer. He's going to make a scene as soon as he wakes up. The plant would have... A friendly gift from nature. It may not be befitting of a princess, but this isn't the first... There's only a little water... Oh. Shame that the tree's casting more and more shade over the waterfall. Before, the sunlight used to dance on it, and there were the most wonderful rainbows. That looks promising. The worms provide... I always... Isn't there a turn of phrase as long... A handy smooth stone. Arbor's sheepdog. No fish in here. No fish in here. I've got what I need, but this is so much fun. And perhaps I'll have a bit of luck catching other interesting things in the pond. A classic. There are... The waterfall. There appears to be... I want... No fish in... Mother pours water from various jugs. She ever... This is Mother's mirror. At the... I have bait and spoon bait on the fishing line. That's as good as it gets. I don't really know much about reeds or pipes, but if I'm not mistaken, then those things are called pipe cleaners. A friendly gift from nature, taken without permission. The reed from the garden pond. It's like a hollow pipe. Well, pipes are normally hollow. Isn't there as long... Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, Mother... So... Since Nate left... So... I'm not... There appears to be... I wonder... There appears to be an amazing collection of stuff accumulated in the little pond. I wonder if there's anything there that could prove useful. A classic. A classic. Since Nate left without saying so much, so far I've managed to frighten off every candidate success. There appears... A classic. A classic. A classic. The worms... I always hang... A fishing hat, which not so long ago I thought was extremely hideous. But now... I am the master of all rods, the ruler of the river and the goddess of the water! And what's more, I'm looking good. That's me and fishing done. I've reached my peak. I think I fished in... There's only a little water left in... Aye. The bees are buzzing around the hive quite merrily. Anyone messing with them will know about it fast. I don't really know... As long as the... I don't know what I could ask him right now. Arbor's obviously... Isn't there a turn... As long... If Arbor does... This is a metis bush. Only it's... Look at this! You'll be forced to marry this terrible prince even though you don't know him. Ugh. Doesn't seem to upset it as much as it does me. I convinced Mother not to have the hive removed, and she reluctantly agreed. However, should she be stung, then the hive's days are numbered. Perhaps I have enough knowledge to now understand the book. Right. Aha! Oh, twice in a row. Then, that was educational. I already know everything that... Helmets with horns. Goldsmithing? Like all but those elves, they have so many beautiful statues and items of wood. They'll be really interested in this. Why don't we present them with a book about it? What they don't realise, though, is that if we're interested in a subject, then we'll already know pretty much all there is to know about the matter, and the book's of no use to us whatsoever. Goldsmithing? Like all those... What they... Working with wood. There's a master whittler down in the valley. I've enjoyed watching him in the past. He carves animal figures so real that humans and dwarfs believe that they are actually animals turned into wood. This one's more about interiors, making furniture and the like. Plane the wood down by a pixie's thumb and saw the board into 2 equal length pieces. Who knows what that might be good for? Sometimes it's... they... Perhaps I can help Arbor solve the problem with that flower. Let's take a look. Killer tomatoes are the most devious of the... Steel magnolias look like normal magnolias, but are some of the toughest plants on Earth. They can be softened using tragic women's stories and subsequently may be picked. Guard plants, Vigilia ordriensis, belong to the oldest domesticated plants of humankind. They have been especially valued in times of famine as they do not require as much food as, for instance, dogs. They can sometimes develop an unhealthy taste for blood. Baritones. Mandrake should only be cultivated by experienced gardeners. The cry of the baby mandrake can kill anyone within 20 metres instantaneously. The wood of intelligent apple trees is often used for equally intelligent and beautifully shaped living accessories of all types. For a long time, botanists thought that it may be possible to find other intelligent fruit varieties. So far, the search has proved fruitless. This plant reminds me of the one that Arbor's having problems with at the moment. Love lily. The love lily enters into an enduring relationship with another plant very early in its life, which frequently lasts its lifetime. If the partner plant dies, then the love lily does not normally survive the separation. The love... Hi, Arbor.
Oh, Ivo!
I think I know the name of your patient. It's a love lily.
You don't look particularly loved up.
That's exactly the problem. Love lilies enter into a lifelong partnership with another plant. And if they're separated...
Then they let their heads droop. Good theory. But the fairies know their plants. They'd never have given us a love lily without its partner.
Look, I found this book in the library.
Woodcrafts? Why are you showing me that?
I thought it might interest you.
I don't like horror stories.
Horror stories?
Wood that has been clamped into a revolving monstrosity to be whittled down layer by layer to the core? What do you call that then?
Sorry, never looked at it like that.
Branches sawed off, boards nailed together, wood treated with chemicals. Oh, sick stuff.
See you later, Arbor.
See ya.
I have to find the love lily's companion. The fairies would have known that it wouldn't have been able to survive without its partner. I don't know what I could... According to Arbor, the... A friendly gift from nature, taken without permission. I think I fished enough. It's said that a ruler in the north wanted... Each cube is... This plant reminds me of the one that... Love lily. The love... If the partner... Killer tomatoes are the... Giant beans, also known as magic beans, are very rare. They are the fastest growing plant variety known. Because of the beans' high costs, they are almost exclusively used... Steel magnolias look like normal magnolias, but are some of the toughest plants on Earth. They can be softened using tragic women's stories and subsequently may be picked. The wood of intelligent apple tree. For a long time. Why do so many people hate this flower? Perhaps it has an abhorrent smell. Now that explains why this flower is classified as a weapon in 24 countries. If the bush had a heart, it would have skipped a few beats. Thanks. The worms are happy and fat. The earth in the bonsai pot seems to have done them good. I think I fished enough today. There are other things. The wood of intelligent apple. This flower was given to us by the fairies, just like the love lily down in the garden. I bet they belong together. Ugh, that fruit smells really sour. It's said that a ruler in since Nate left. Look, do you know this flower?
Ha ha ha! You did well, girl.
It would appear so.
You snivelling, girl? You all right?
No. Yes? I don't know.
Well then, I think I've earned myself a little rest now.
The smoke from Arbor's pipe seems to be calming the bees. This is my chance.
Hey now, you all right there?
Sorry, had to do it.
Well, I'm not happy about this destruction of nature. Not unless I get half of that there honey.
I don't need any more. The rest is for you.
Oh, that be good stuff. But that's enough. The bees need a bit too.
I've nearly done it. Just missing... about 1 spoon of honey. No more water in... Now I've got all the ingredients. I just need to crush them. I'm pretty sure that there's never been anything so utterly revolting concocted in the Elf Burrow ever. Oh, I hope this is some kind of joke. Since Nate left without saying so much as... No more water. Hi.
Well, what's up?
The potion's ready, but you don't seriously expect me to drink it, do you?
You must.
Cheap, I'm so... Yes, I know, but... This, medicine. Well, I did tell you that I wasn't feeling well, and the medicine book here thinks it could be something serious.
She has to drink it, the sour metis fruit, sweet honey and salty fish. That should give us an answer.
Oh, it looks revolting.
It is medicine. It's not supposed to taste nice. That's right. Down to the last drop.
Not as bad as I was expecting. In actual fact, it's quite tasty. I could definitely drink another glass of that.
Congratulations, Ivo. You are pregnant.
No, 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 no. That is completely impossible. You must be wrong. Surely it's a misdiagnosis.
You are an elf and say that potion is quite tasty. I could definitely drink another glass of that. That's raging hormones talking.
I don't have any hormones. Cheap, no. No, the book has made a mistake. I cannot be pregnant. I've never stood in the divine water with Nate on Midsummer's Night singing the Song of Life. Why? How do humans do it? They do what?
Elves and humans can have children together, but it's not possible without sex.
You see? We never had sex. At least not to my knowledge.
But the diagnosis is crystal clear.
Let's just pretend that I am pregnant. There must be some explanation, rational or otherwise.
If we discount the possibility that the child was conceived by natural means, which would certainly appear to be the case here, then that leaves us with just the unconventional conception methods. Did you, perhaps, make some kind of pact with a goblin regarding the child? Child in exchange for gold or a kingdom, for example?
No.
Has a god in the guise of a bull appeared to you in your dreams? Any angels been having a word with you?
No.
Have any stars fallen from the heavens recently?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Then that just leaves magic, or a curse. But unfortunately, that is not my area of expertise.
I wish it was so cheap, but my feeling is that the book is right. I am pregnant. One thing's certain. Mother must never find out about this. I don't know either. Do you think that my tummy will start to show? Oh. I'm not sure how, and I'm not sure why, but it would appear that I'm pregnant. And as all other possibilities have been eliminated, then it must be a curse that's responsible. That is fantastic! No, of course I didn't mean it like that, but just think. Me, cursed. That sounds like an adventure. Totally obvious what we need to do now. We ask Archmage Alistair. He's the wisest magician in the realm of man, and he's a friend. He'll be able to tell us what it means. Oh, no, you don't. You remember who was meant to be looking after me so that nothing happens to me, don't you? Alistair's sure to have the answers. We'll have to track him down in the Mage Tower in Seastone. Only, how are we going to get there? Seastone is days away from here. Oh, yeah, saying fly is all well and good. Are you going to teach me quickly then? No, we need a fast mode of transport. And then there's the small matter of the Border Watch. Their longbows can take out a fly's eye at 400 metres, and they will shoot if said fly should dare to set foot in or leave the woodland realm without permission. You don't by any chance know the password that the Border Watch use? Typical. That's exactly the problem. Mother chooses a new password every single day, and there's no way I'll get it out of her. Oh, why don't you know the password? You normally know everything. Hey, know-it-all. Mother's mirror. It knows more than you. It must know the password. If we work as a team, we should be able to cast a little light on the matter cheap. After all, if it is a curse, then I'm the victim, not the perpetrator. Well, yes, I know that. She'll blame us whatever happens. But it's best for us to have some answers rather than just presenting her the facts, don't you think? Transport and the password. Let's go. There's only a little water left in the bird bath. An all-knowing mirror. In the current situation, that would be more than useful. The only question is how to cast a spell over the mirror. I've never done that before. You're having a good time, I see.
What can I do for 'ee?
Tell me, you know a bit about nature, don't you? How does this childbearing stuff work exactly?
Oh, don't know. Ask myself the same question. The bees pollinate the flowers flower seeds are carried away by the wind and new plants grow. Very simple and easy, that. But elves, humans and dwarves don't produce nectar. What have you got to offer the bees?
Yeah, and also our children don't grow in the earth, they grow in us.
I know. Isn't it absurd?
Do you know how to cast a spell over a magic mirror?
Do I look like a magician or priest?
Perhaps you saw Mother doing it sometime.
Many times. She tips water from 3 different vessels into the bowl and then mumbles a bit to herself. Some kind of elf priestess magic nonsense. I don't know nothing about that.
Me neither. You shouldn't smoke.
Why not?
It's not healthy.
No lungs, no problems.
Don't you think it's a bit weird and warped to smoke yourself?
Yeah, I know. I'm terrible. Don't tell no one, though.
Arbor, I'm going to have to leave the elf burrow for a few days.
Your mother giving you permission?
Not as such.
Oh, she not gonna like that. But one has to do what one has to do. I wish you a good journey.
Oh, thank you, Arbor. And don't tell anyone I told you.
Oh, he wouldn't dream of it. Just don't you go staying away too long now. You know time out there runs much quicker than here in the woodland realm.
Of course. In the outside world, we elves age like humans. That's why most elves avoid it like the plague.
Quite right.
I have to get on. Don't work too hard.
That I won't.
I think... Nothing for it. Have to talk to Pa. I'd better take the hat off. No need to complicate matters further.
Ivo, I thought that we'd agreed that you would stay in your room.
I'm no longer a little girl who can be shut up in her room.
No? How did you get out of your room? Did you trick Cheep Cheep and then climb over the balcony? That sounds very grown up.
I just left my room to do a bit of training.
Mm-hmm.
You said yourself I've put on a few pounds, and I'm not going to get rid of them by lying around on my bed all day.
Where does this sudden insight come from?
I can't keep asking myself what to do with my life. Perhaps marriage isn't such a bad idea.
It most certainly isn't. And if you train diligently, I'm sure Prince Lalilos will like you a lot.
Of course. Fine.
I would love to help you, but I'm most dreadfully busy. A kind of epidemic seems to have broken out in Seastone.
An epidemic in Seastone?
It's strange. We're getting reports from the whole of the Middle Kingdom. Objects and beings have been changed.
What do you mean?
The situation isn't clear. It appears as if some kind of terrible power is gradually moving through the whole land, changing it. Do you remember the story of the Nothing? A big blackness that gradually swallowed a fairy kingdom bit by bit.
Of course.
This time it is much worse. It is pink.
An epidemic in Seastone. Is it wise for me and it to go there? On the other hand, Wilbur and the Archmajor in Seastone. Perhaps I can help them to fight the epidemic in exchange for them helping me with my problem. Pa doesn't like getting up early. He always says he needs lots of sleep, but he's never said why. That's just what I need. There are I want they're the Why not? Perhaps I'm in luck. It works. One of the symbols is glowing. Each symbol depicts a droplet. Sometimes there's a line underneath it, sometimes above, and here's a circle going through the droplet. Haven't got a clue what they mean. I have seen these symbols once before, up in the throne room if I'm not mistaken. Since Nate left without saying so. There's only a little. Right then, fresh water for the bird bath. Hey, Cheap. I've got sunflower seeds. Want one? I can imagine the whole experience has made you hungry. We will get through this together, right? I'm really sorry about that business with the musical box, Cheap, but I had to find out what was wrong with me. Are we friends again? Good. Sometimes I wish I'd kept the artifact of divine fate. Well, an object that would make every wish come true. It'd be very handy right now. Yes, I know, too much power for one person. That's why Archmage Alistair and I made arrangements. Think, Cheap Cheap. How can we both get to Seastone without me having to grow wings? You've got an idea? A flight magazine? You've taken out a subscription to a flight magazine? Yeah, all right. Page 15. Hippogriff stud Aculeus in the Blue Mountains. The best battle and hunting hippogriffs in Avantasia. A hippogriff? That could carry me. Not a bad idea, Cheap. But the Blue Mountains aren't close. And just look at the price. A pot of gold. Now, where are we meant to get that from? Yes, I think you're right. We'll have to think of something. Do you think I could play the princess card and ask the stud to loan us a hippogriff? That'd cost a lot less than a pot of gold. Yeah, you're right. They'd blab to everyone. Bad idea if I want to travel incognito. This sex that you spoke about, what is it and why should I not have it? I know that I'm an elf princess. That's exactly the reason I should have something like this. Perhaps even two. Oh, I will find out what you're trying to hide from me. Do you think I could play the prince? Yeah. I'll be back soon, Cheap. Hi.
Well, what's up?
How do elf pregnancies progress?
They are very similar to human pregnancies, only they take a lot longer, about 4 years. You are presumably in the 6th month.
And
Then your pregnancy will go faster, that's for certain. The consequences are difficult to predict. I am not aware of an elf ever having a child outside of the woodland realm.
let's hope it doesn't come to that. If everything goes to plan, then I'll be back in a couple of days and we'll know what's happened.
That would be advisable. Pregnancy can play havoc with the body and mind. It does not take a lot of imagination to work out what a turbo pregnancy in the human world would do to an elf.
You were interrupted just now when you were going to tell me about sex.
Indeed, someone is of the opinion that a princess does not need to know about such things.
Oh, come on, tell me.
I could tell you a lot about it, but it would be unwise for me to annoy your parents. They could burn me, or even worse, give me to a public library.
Thank you for your help.
That's what I'm here for.
If I do succeed in escaping, it'll be a while before Cheap is able to bathe in his basin again. Do I have the right to drag him into this? He should really have the choice of returning as soon as I escape. No, I've already poured in. This symbol's on the bottom of the mirror bowl in the garden. No idea what it means. That's Mother's area of expertise. Only priestesses are allowed to get water from the well. Up to now, my mother hasn't tried to make me into a priestess. If I'm lucky, she never will. Hey, Pa, the day started ages ago.
What? Oh, Ivo, how's my favourite daughter?
I'm your only daughter.
Oh, that I had 100. You are and will remain something very special. The other 99 will be as well, though.
Pa, you're nuts. Isn't it a wonderful day today? Again.
Just as the caterpillars cough in the morning dew. Yet, something seems to be troubling you.
She locked me up like a small child.
Have you argued again?
She started it.
She loves you.
And she only wants the best for me. How can it be best for me if she constantly criticises me and forces me to do things that I don't want to do?
She believes that this will help prepare you for the life that awaits you.
I'd just like to decide for myself.
I know. Your mother just doesn't understand that, because she never had that choice.
You are always defending her. Doesn't she drive you mad too?
Naturally.
Then why don't you tell her?
Does the GNU talk of spring when the shadows are tickling the squirrel? I love her. It's just a phase. She'll change. And if she doesn't change, then I will not love her any less. I love you both as you are, warts and all.
Mother wants me to marry this Prince Lalilos.
I did hear about that.
Is that your wish too?
All I wish for is for you to be happy.
Haha, so I'm not going to marry him.
Unfortunately, not all wishes are granted.
Oh.
You are an elf princess. You will need to marry sooner or later. It's just when and who. I'd rather just leave that to Mother Nature.
I wish you could convince Mother of that.
I fear her faith in your taste of men has been shaken a little since... Well, you know. She wants to prevent your heart being broken again. That's why she is choosing someone that she thinks is right for you.
Pa, would you have used the artifact of divine fate, or would you have hidden it like we did?
I think that too much power can corrupt any one of us.
But you have great powers, and you've never used them for evil.
I could have cured diseased woodlands with the artifact, cleaned rivers in the air. And then what? Then I might have chased away the lumberjacks and destroyed the factories of the dwarves.
I could have helped a lot of humans.
Things take time, Ivo. If you force change before its time has come, then it won't last.
Enlighten me, Father.
The moth and the dandelion, laughing madly and turning quickly in circles, are amongst the greatest wonders of the world.
Understood. I've got quite a lot to think about.
Goodbye, little daughter.
See you later, Father. This symbol's on the bottom of the mirror bowl in the garden. No idea what it means. That's Mother's area of expertise. I can blame Mother for a lot of things, but not laziness. On the contrary, she does the same work as 3 people put together, because she doesn't trust anyone to do it as well. Only up... Mother?
Yes, Ivadora.
When you married Father, how long had you known each other?
Just a few days. I fell in love with him instantly. He was the wisest and most handsome elf that I had ever met.
And if you hadn't loved him, or if perhaps you hadn't even liked him?
Then I would have married him anyway. It is the duty of the princess to secure royal succession.
Whether she wants it or not?
You didn't want to go to school either. Today you can play music, paint, speak a dozen different languages and have realized what a gift education is. Please, just trust me. Sometimes only parents know what's best.
Those symbols on the columns, what do they mean?
First your insights concerning your wedding and now an interest in the spiritual. You do surprise me. The 3 symbols depict the 3 different forms that water takes. They are important in many rituals. Water that falls from the sky. Water that springs from the earth. And water that is bathed by moonlight.
Oh. Do you really think that I look fat?
You aren't really fat, my darling, but you aren't perfect either.
Do I have to be perfect?
No one is perfect, but that doesn't stop us striving for it. Once you are happy with yourself, then you become overindulgent. Dissatisfaction can take you far, my darling.
Do you know what can be done to fight the epidemic in Seastone?
Done? Nothing, my darling. It's a matter for humans. We will only observe.
How hard would it be for us to actually help solve a problem for once, instead of waiting for it to solve itself?
If Alistair needs my advice, he can ask me, and up to now he has not done that.
But...
I'm not going to interfere.
You told me earlier about the different forms of water. What does it actually mean?
Not all water is the same. It changes. If it bubbles out of a spring, then it is spring water. Then it turns into stream water, perhaps into river water, and then sometimes later into sea water. The voice of water changes, its soul.
And if different forms of water are mixed together...
Then you can create water with powerful magical properties. But it's not as easy as you might imagine. Water is constantly changing its form. Rain is water from the sky, but as soon as it lands in a puddle, then it becomes common puddle water.
That stuff in the moonwell, that's water bathed by moonlight, isn't it?
Of course it is, my darling.
Could I take some of it?
It is holy water. We only use it for special occasions. What do you need it for?
I'm thirsty, and I thought to myself, I've never tried moonwell water.
Well, keep thinking. This water is not intended for such profane use.
See you later, Mother.
Don't pull a face like a wilted willow, Ivo. Smile.
I think I fished enough. Shame that the tree's casting more and more before the sunlight. The willow is stretched one... Water that's fallen from the sky. The symbol's glowing. 2 symbols are still inactive. Water that's fallen. The symbol. 2 symbols. Water that's fallen. 2 symbols. No. Water that's. The 2 symbols are still. Do you need a couple of big fat worms to loosen the earth up for you?
No thanks, I've enough. I breed them in my pot.
Would you like a pipe cleaner for your pipe, Arbor?
No, and I would be most cheered if you didn't decapitate any more plants in my garden.
Oh. You're having a good time, I see.
What can I do for you?
I need a special sort of water, Arbor. Can you help me?
A special sort of water? Now who's been dreaming that stuff up then?
Arbor, please help. I need water that spills out of the ground.
There, the waterfall. As much water as you want.
Oh, it's not that simple. That water's changed. I need water directly out of the earth.
You elves always like to make things complicated, don't you? You got a container? There you go. And don't start telling me that this is some kind of snot water or the like. This be tip-top quality groundwater.
Should work. Thank you. If I happen to need a pot of gold and you happen to have one, would you be happy to lend it to me?
Or if I be the Sultan of the 3 deserts and you had juicy grapes, would you feed me?
Okay, seriously, do you have a pot of gold?
Just like you have grapes and be the Sultan.
I have to get on. Don't work too hard.
That I won't.
Let's hope that Arbor's donation of water that spills from the earth will work. It hasn't really spilled from the earth, but it is groundwater, and it's never seen the sun. Aha! That's got the second symbol to glow. Water that's fallen from the sky. Water that's spilled from the earth. 2 symbols are glowing. Only one to go. That's Arbor's little spade. He always leaves his stuff all over the garden. I don't know what I could ask him right now. I just need to borrow your spade a moment. Is that okay?
Of course. Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Isn't that just... Arbor's little spade. Mustn't forget to give it back to him. Empty. A friendly gift from nature, taken without permission. There are many magical clothes in this world which strengthen the powers of their wearers. However, the rule of thumb is, the more useful the garment, the uglier it is. think I... No, water from the sky's already in the bowl. If that isn't water bathed by moonshine, then I don't know what is. The only problem is, Mother guards this water like treasure and stands directly next to it. If that... the Pa?
Yes, Poppet?
Enlighten me, Father.
The strike. Hi, Harama.
I've got quite...
Goodbye.
See you. Mother?
Yes, Ivadora.
Why do you want me to marry this particular prince?
Because I think that will be best for you.
And if I don't like him?
Then you will learn to love him.
Why can't I fall in love first and then marry?
And what happens if you don't fall in love? You won't ever marry then? Don't be childish, Ivadora.
About the moon water, could I have some?
What do you need it for?
I need it for a potion. It's one of the most important ingredients.
Really? What sort of potion?
A growth potion. One could call it a kind of liquid fertilizer for arbor.
Arbor has always managed perfectly well without magic up to now, and the Moonwell water is much too precious to waste on flowers.
About the...
What do you...
Really? I just think that one could sell water with lots of bubbles in it for much more money than pure water.
What a strange idea! But why don't you just take normal water? Anyone falling for that will never know the difference.
About the...
What do you...
I need it for a potion. Well, the moon water's a particularly pure and clean water. I thought that it could form the basis of a beauty potion.
It is true that this water is purported to have healing powers.
I didn't want to trouble you with this, but then I thought, if I'm meant to be looking my best for the prince, then such a potion wouldn't do any harm.
Oh, absolutely. Do you have a vessel? May the Moonwell water give you the help you need to become more beautiful, just as it has always helped me.
I could do with a bit more moon water.
Come back if you need any more. We'll get rid of those little wrinkles.
See you later, Mother.
Don't pull a face like a wilted willow.
What? Two? Right. Now water that has been bathed in moonshine. That must mean the water that's come from the Moonwell. Now all the symbols are glowing. Hello? Are you there?
I'm always there.
I cast a spell over you single-handedly with no help.
You had help, you just didn't realise it.
No, I did it by myself.
I'm the all-knowing seer. I'm telling you, you are wrong.
Are you really all-knowing?
No, but it sounds better than I am the seer who saw more than any other being in the world and yet didn't see all.
I did summon you, but I don't really know anything about you. Do you live in the water, or are you the water?
No, the water is just a reflective surface. I live on the other side of the mirrors. I see what happens in front of mirrors. To you, they are simple reflections. To me, they are the window through which I view your world.
Okay. So you live on the other side of all mirrors. Does that include the one in my bedroom?
I can look through any reflective surface. I see all.
You do close your eyes, when it's the decent thing to do, right?
I see all.
Yes, understood. But if someone's undressing in front of their mirror or doing embarrassing things that no one else should see, you do look away, right?
I can see into the furthest reaches of the world. I see the good and the bad, the beautiful and the abominable.
You saw me giving an imaginary harp concert in front of my mirror.
I count that amongst the abominable.
There's talk of an epidemic in Seastone which is spreading. Do you know anything about it?
It is not an epidemic.
Well, what is it then?
It's something that you get involved with.
Can you see into the future?
Stories repeat themselves. Other places, other participants, but the course remains the same. Good fights evil.
Why am I pregnant?
You are pregnant?
Should you not know that? You being the nearly all-knowing oracle.
I didn't see that. When did you get pregnant?
I'm asking you.
Stupid romance. A woodland glade, a bed in the cornfield, not a mirror in sight. Couldn't you and Nate have done that somewhere else?
Done what?
Oh, yes. Nothing at all, Princess.
And Mother and others summon you to ask your advice?
I wouldn't exactly describe it as asking. They know how to reach me via one of the mirrors. They want me to give them information, and if I don't answer, they just stand there and stare at me.
So you help them?
That is the question, is it not? Do I have an interest in supporting either one or the other side, or would I rather watch a catastrophe unfold?
So you'd pour oil onto the fire just because you want to watch the flames?
I could, but mostly I restrict myself to watching. I love to see how things develop. I can't abide when things come to a standstill. That's when I'm always tempted to give someone a shove in the right direction.
I need today's password for the Woodland Realm Border Watch. Do you know it?
Of course. Your mother told the commander of the guards when she was standing next to the mirror surface of the moon well.
Can I have it?
Absolutely. I want to see how this develops. And there are quite a few surprises awaiting you in Seastone.
Which, of course, you're not going to tell me about.
They wouldn't be surprises if I told you about them.
By any chance, is the password melon?
How do you know that?
Stories repeat themselves. Do you not know that? Thanks for that unsettling conversation. I have to go.
Yes, you must. But we will see each other again soon.
You mean to say you will see me and follow my every move?
Yes, but I didn't mean that. You will seek me out before this story ends.
Really?
Yes, you will want to help a friend in need and won't know how to. That's when you will seek and find me.
Where will I find you?
In a flying town, in a house with no corners. Till then, Princess Ivo of the Woodland Realm.
But, oh... Hey, Cheap. Do you think I could play the princess? Yeah. I'll be back. I wish there was something to indicate that the book was wrong, but I wish I... Since Nate left... I don't know how Cheap escaped the music box, but he does say he knows various mystical fighting techniques. I don't know what I could... I know everything I need to know. Today's password is melon. When I use it at the border, the watch will have to let me pass. And by the time they find out they've been duped, I'll be in Seastone. Pa?
Yes, Poppet?
In light...
Oh, and
That... I need... but... I'm not sure how.
you shouldn't worry too much. It's not good for the baby.
You know.
Has a zebra got stripes?
How can it have happened? Why?
I don't know. Is that important?
It is. I want to know what's happened to me.
Then look for the answers, my little bud.
How can you be so calm about it?
Because I know that everything will be fine in the end.
And if it isn't fine?
Then it is not the end.
If you don't know what the pregnancy's all about, then I'll have to travel to Seastone and ask the Archmage.
The fact that I don't know means that you did not get pregnant by natural means. And if something does not conform to the laws of nature, then it must be magic. No one knows more about these things than Alistair.
We agree, then?
Like snails munching cabbage. Only your mother isn't going to permit it.
I know, but I'll work on that. I've got quite a lot to think about.
Goodbye, little...
See you later. I'll leave her to work. This magical epidemic seems to be I think I fished in... The water... That's a weeping willow. Hey, Chief. Do you think... Yeah. Do you think... Yeah. I'll be... It's said that a ruler in the north wanted to build himself a throne out of all the swords of conquered enemies. Unfortunately, he died after only conquering one enemy when he refused to heed all the warnings and sat on the throne.